Well, it's a very warm and humid morning at Sepang International Circuit. This is the opening meeting of the 2024 Fanatec GT World Challenge Asia, powered by AWS. It's hot, it's humid. We've got a fantastic pack grid of 33 cars, so we're breaking all records here at Sepang. We had a fantastic first race, but we had thunder and lightning before the race. It was delayed by an hour, and today already the track temperature nearly 43 degrees. Humidity at 63%, but I think that could rise. And certainly yesterday the race was made enthralling by what sort of tyres to pick before the start of the race. So the dances go on down on the grid, but today it's going to be slicks all around. And certainly we had a huge amount of fun. There's the grid, thick and packed with people. Great to see this capacity grid. And one car that didn't get start yesterday was the GTO racing team Porsche. That's been built up from an entirely new chassis. That will start from the back of the grid. But let's take a look at the highlights of yesterday's race, which started wet and turned out to be a cracker. Now, at the start of the race, the cars had to run around behind a safety car as we look back at the highlights, and then they would be released. And the driver who was at the front of the queue nearly fell off at the previous corner, but Frankie Chen Kung Fu and the driver behind you thought, why are they not cornering? That's because they're on slick tyres, and half the field behind them were on groove tyres, on wet weather rubber, and they were the ones that were going to start making the progress, while those who started on slicks were going to start falling down the field. You could see James Yu running wide in the yellow and white and black Audi. That's because he was on slicks. Oh, what a handful to hold on right across the bows of the Prince Abu Bakr Ibrahim, and those that were on wet weather tyres, the tyres really started to go off. They couldn't wait for the pit window to open, and they dived into the pits to make their changes, not just of drivers, to put slick tyres on as well. Eduardo Liberati dived out of the pits. He was waiting for heat to come in his tyres. In the background was Daniel Morad, who'd pitted, had been given that Mercedes, car number 30, from Craft Bamboo Racing, given that a lap ahead. He had the heat in the tyres. He thought, I have to make the move to get into the lead of the race before Liberati is happy. There they are, to turn 5. Oh, a twitch from the Lamborghini at turn 6. And Daniel Morad, thank you very much indeed. He pounced absolutely as he should. And then it became very, very tight indeed, because the 36 Audi that Frankie Chen Kung Fu started stayed out as long as he could on those slicks, came in, pitted, handed over to Adderley Fong, and Adderley straight on the tail of the number 30 Mercedes. And then as they came across Setien Juan Santoso, Adderley read the traffic better, got into the lead of the race, but the Lamborghini of Eduardo Liberati, that's car number 6, right in the heat of the battle. Talking of battling, rare mistake here. Marcus Winklehock brought in for his speed and experience, diving up the inside of a Lamborghini and taking out the BMW. So John O'Lester was going, where did that one come from? And possibly the battle of the race in terms of being close for lap after lap. Two drivers right on the top of their form, fighting over 4th and 5th place eventually, but it was an SU Picaro Abbasian boost. But victory to Adderley Fong, back in the saddle, back with the victor's garland around his neck. And in second place, right the way to the finish, Eduardo Liberati, and look for the green and white Porsche crossing line. Now that was 3rd place for Origin Motorsports, and applause all around. There is Frankie Chen Kung Fu, last victory in this series 6 years ago, and here it is all over again as his teammate Adderley Fong brings the car to a grandstand, and the double fist pump of delight. So, started wet, ended dry, cracker of the race, and an entirely different grid for today's race. And in fact, it's so busy down there, quite hard to make out. But let's go down to the grid, because the driver who put the car on pole is Lauren Heinrich, and he's down on the grid waiting to talk to Amy Zawa.
Lauren, so you had a quite well start yesterday, I guess. P7 is not too bad on the slicks in the first stint, and you are starting pole position today.
Yeah, I think pole position obviously is the greatest starting position. Yeah, yesterday was a bit difficult. The start on slicks was the wrong decision, unfortunately. But anyways, Wade did a good job keeping the car on track in that conditions. Now we focus on today. The Mercedes are really fast on the straight, so it will be difficult to stay ahead before turn 1. It's a super long run to turn 1, but let's see. I think if I can stay ahead, it will be a good race.
I know you're a very experienced driver. Are you nervous at all?
To be honest, I'm not nervous. It's my first race in Asia. I enjoy the atmosphere. It's a bit hot, but usually I'm never nervous, no.
Perfect. All the best luck to you.
Thank you.
Very, very impressive newcomer, the 22-year-old German pole position. Bear in mind, he started his career racing in esports and working for the Williams Formula 1 team, so he's come on leaps and bounds in the real world, full metal racing now, and doing a fantastic job. So we have 33 cars split between 4 classes. New class for 2024 is the Silver AM class, and certainly we had representation of 3 different classes in the top 3 finishing positions yesterday, which made it very, very interesting indeed. But But let's head down to a driver who's been another sensation and he was brilliant in the work yesterday. It's Daniel Morad with Amy.
Peter here with Daniel Morad. So yesterday the victory slipped away from your hands. Was it a puncture or what was it?
Yeah, it was a puncture early on in the stint. That's why I actually opened the gap. You could see I was pulling away, and then I started going backwards because the left rear just wasn't coming up to pressure, and it started going down more and more. And it was unfortunate. I tried to stick with it as long as possible, but at one point it dropped too low and we had to box. But today we're going to try to make up for it. We're on the front row. Great start. We'll see what we can do. The Porsche's quick, but I think the AMG is good for the long run and the heat.
Looking forward to a very, very high-tense battling of you.
I'm going to put a show on. I'm going to try my best because I'm not a quitter, and we've worked so hard. Yeah, I want to win today. I want to make up for yesterday, so it's going to be fun.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Yeah, certainly very, very impressive run yesterday. But let's take a look at what the 15 turns of the Sepang circuit is like. And our guide is Alessio Picariello, car number 1. It's a Porsche.
Hi, my name is Alessio Picariello and I race for Absolute Racing on the number 1 Porsche GT3R. Alright, so here we go for a lap around Sepang International Circuit. First corner, first gear, we want to brake as straight as possible, try to V-style the corner, we call it, especially with the Porsche. Then you want to be really slow for a lot of rotation in the mid-corner, stay a lot to the right, prepare turn 2 to have a clean exit early on power and use the wall space. Then there is this long, easy, flat corner. You want to try to be smooth with the steering wheel going into T4, which is actually a tricky corner. It's easy to go too fast in and have a bad exit, so it's a bit of a compromise there. And now we come into 5 and 6 really fast corners. Really a fine line here to find the best compromises. It's easy to oversteer and lose a lot of time. And now we have this double right, again very technical. Really easy to overdrive there and difficult to keep the car on track because of track limits. Now we have this hairpin, a bit like T1. You want to brake straight, V-style the corner, maximize the exit. This one is flat, but not so easy. It will be hard on used tires. And then we have this one that we do maybe in second, maybe third. It depends on the track conditions, but it's also quite technical. This one is one of my favorite, very fast corner and very technical part. Yeah, you have many lines there, many ways to do, but again the goal is to maximize the exit for the long straight ahead. And now we are coming towards the end of the lap. Last straight before the last corner. The last corner is really special. You have a big bump on the inside, on the apex. So there are again many ways to go there, and it depends also on the track conditions. But yeah, the goal is again to maximize the exit to have the best speed as possible to the straight. And here was a lap around Sepang circuit.
Well, fantastic guide around this circuit with the wonders of dips and turns. Well, let's go down to one of the front runners from yesterday. So Wan Bo had a really, really good run in the number 87 Mercedes, and they're starting fourth today, chance of going to the top of the table. And let's hear from him with Amy.
All right, Bob, here we are on the grids. Leo is jumping into the car. Yes, you are so strong in the Silver Am class. Great racing yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday we finished P3 overall and first the Silver Am. Yeah, happy with that, but actually we took the wrong strategy with the silica tire. But yeah, still okay, we managed with that, and Leo did a good job. Yeah.
And today, starting from this position, second row, it's amazing, fantastic start. What are you looking forward to?
To be honest, yeah, I mean, looking forward to the race. I mean, Leo's pace is definitely quick. So hopefully we can bring the car really front, then hand it to me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this race. I hope I can yeah, finish front. Yeah.
Good luck to you.
Thank you very much, Amy. And that number 87 Craft Bamboo Mercedes, just worth pointing out, very, very strong finish yesterday. for them. Expect more today, and certainly starting fourth on this 33-car grid. Yes, I did say 33. How the championship continues to grow. Fanatec GT all around the world is massive, but in Asia it's really, really surging in 2024. Good to see in a host of nationalities. We have 33 full season entries. We've got 24 teams, 8 manufacturers, and it's an incredibly cosmopolitan field. And great to see some new cars on the grid. Number 3, for example, the bright orange car, Elegant Racing Team from Macau. So again, great international spread. Car number 4, Origin Motorsport. If you remember R&B Racing, it's the same team, new name for 2024, and they really had their cars hooked up throughout qualifying, which obviously makes the race so much easier. And that's one on pole position with Lauren Heinrich, young German, first race in Asia, absolutely not phased. So that's an easy car to pick out in its bright purple race livery. Alongside is the white and pink Craft Bamboo Racing Mercedes. Outside the front row, we heard from Daniel Morad. Let's hope for them no puncture. Ended up just one position away from the points, having had to pit to get that left rear tyre fixed, but had been challenging for victory at the time. So like the pole sitting car, that's a Pro-Am entry. So it's 2 Pro-Ams on the front row. Climax Racing on row number 2. The Pro-Am car. There is the Toyota Supra safety car that will be leading us around. Yesterday it actually led the field to start the race because it was on a wet track, so it led the field around for 2 laps before they were released and could start dicing for position. Then we had the dichotomy. Those on wet weather tyres had grip. Those that started on slicks, which was most of the front runners, had absolutely no grip at all. And the car that started 12th within 2 laps was in the lead of the race. That was the number 6 Lamborghini. That is going to be starting way down the order today. In fact, I have to look all the way back to row number 9, 17th position for that Eduardo Liberati car. Ralph Aron, young Estonian driver, very cool, calm, collected. He's starting 3rd on the grid in the Climax Racing number 22. And then Leo Yihong Lee, the Origin Motorsport Porsche. We just heard from Wan Bo, who will be taking the second stint of the race. So we've got 3 different teams in the top 4 positions. Origin on pole, Origin in 4th. That's number 87 in 4th place. Just in the background behind, you can see Marcus Winklehock's number 40 Audi for Audi Sport Asia Team Absolute. That's starting 6th on the grid. That had contact in the race yesterday up at the turn 14 hairpin. Let's hope better luck for them today. And the car that draws the most attention here in Malaysia undoubtedly is the 888 JMR entry, because Jordan Love will be in it. It's not so much for the young Australian they're focusing, but of course he shares with His Royal Highness Prince Abu Bakr Ibrahim, who will take it over in the second part of the race. They ended up with points yesterday, but will be looking for rather more today. They took the final point for 10th place yesterday. One thing I need to mention is the fact the top 3 finishers in any race get success penalty, which will lead to longer pit stops. This is the car, Alessio Picariello's car, starting down 11th. Don't really know what went wrong for the Belgian in qualifying, but look for a run through. Right, back to the success penalty. The car that won yesterday, the number 36 Audi of Adeli Fong and Frankie Chen Kong Fu, starting all the way back down in 16th, and there it is right now, but that will have to spend an extra 15 seconds in the pit stop as a sort of success penalty for yesterday. The car that came second is starting 2 positions, 3 positions further back down the order. That has 10 seconds extra. And when we heard from Wan Bo on the grid, didn't really mention the fact that his car has 5 seconds extra. So not too much of a compromise for the number 87 Porsche. It's in the background of the shot there, the green and white car. That starts 4th on the grid, but it's you know, the other drivers on the podium yesterday are starting way down the order. So much to attend to. 33 cars coming out to play, and thank goodness we got that GTO Racing Team Porsche. Dark blue starting at the back of the grid, which will be a massive relief for Hideto Yasuoka, who'll start, and his teammate Brian Lee. But the front row, all set, but it really has been a jumbled grid. Car 93, I expect that to be way closer to the front than we're finding it. Bastien Bus, who finished 5th yesterday, got promoted to 4th because Alessio Picariello's car was given 5 seconds for a little bit of contact. But that is starting all the way back on row 10. So expect some charges. Yesterday's start was really jumbled up with a handful of the field, a dozen of the cars starting on wet weather tyres. They came forward. Today it's all dry at the start, but this race is 1 hour long, and there is a possibility, there are reports that rain could be coming in. Can we get through the hour before the rain starts to fall? Certainly high cloud, deep cloud actually, above the circuit, but mainly blue skies, and it's certainly very warm indeed. And for those drivers like Lauren Heinrich coming here to race in Asia for the first time, the thing they feared most of all is just how hot and humid it can be. So he'll be very keen to get his stint completed. And of course you have a mandatory pit stop. at one point between 25 minutes into this race, and it goes on for 10 minutes, then it closes. If you pit before, too bad. If you pit afterwards, that's also too bad. Right, riding on board with Jordan Love, he'll be carrying one of our cameras, starting 7th in that 888 JMR Mercedes, grey and black livery, just coming down the slope and clipping the curb on the inside there, going down through turn 3. This is the part flat up the hill, approaching turn 4. This is the corner where it flattens out on the crest that the drivers thought was hardest of all. Lauren Heinrich on pole in that purple Origin Motorsport Porsche, alongside Daniel Morad, Craft Bamboo Racing Mercedes. Second row, another Mercedes, Ralph Aron, Climax Racing, and Leo Yihong Lee for Origin Motorsport in at the second of the Origin Porsches. Then Fabian Schiller, great success in Asia over the years, starting 5th, and Marcus Winklehock, likewise in the top Audi in 6th. 7th place Jordan Love alongside young German 19-year-old Finn Gersitz in the top best place of the Ferraris. Then comes the ever popular Team Gojigan Nissan alongside Akash Nandi, the top Malaysian driver on the grid at the moment. In fact, only 2 red Malaysians in the race. Alessio Picariello, Absolute Racing, and alongside Yuta Kamimura, Porsche Center Okazaki. So much success last year. Luo Kailua, Harmony Racing Ferrari, and alongside Marco Mappelli. Expect progress from the Lamborghini driver. Joel Eriksson, likewise, Phantom Global Racing. Some great names down the pack. 16th is the starting position of yesterday's winning car. And Eduardo Liberati tucked in behind. Jalen Rowbotham, young Australian, joining the series. Climax Mercedes. Bastian Boost, look out for the Dane, starting 19th. And the Aston Martin of Tomonobu Fuji, alongside Andre Kuto, the only Macanese entry here in Malaysia. Tanat Sathian Thirikul, way down the grid. His speed should be better than that. Tsubasa Kondo starts 23rd, and John O'Lester knocked out of the race yesterday in the BMW, hoping for better things to Team KRC. Lurley Chow, Climax Racing, and Ben Porter, top AM-placed driver on the grid in 26th position. Maneki Okura, Spirit of FFF Racing Team, that'll be an AM challenger. Christian Colombo went well yesterday. And then Shigekatsu Wakizaka, LM Corsa Ferrari, Setyawan Santoso, who will be driving solo from 30th on the grid. Then Mingwan Han for the brand new Korean team Full Gas Motorsport, Yuki Nomoto, look for a charge from the 563 Ferrari. And after problems, didn't get to start yesterday's race as a new chassis was built up, Hideto Yasuoka completes the grid, GTO Racing Team in 33rd position. So as the cars file their way behind the pace car around and through turn 14 onto the back straight that goes behind the opposite side of the grandstands to the side that faces the pit straight, so the back of the field looking down 31st position. This is the new Korean entry, Mingwan Han in his Porsche. He'll be back at towards the tail of the field there, so he'll have an exciting story to tell. Alessio Picariello, his form would suggest, and he's sharing with last year's champion in Anthony Liu. They used to share about 4 years ago in an Audi. Look for progress from the bright yellow and red Porsche, but 2 by 2 as per instruction. As the cars go, just waiting. They can't see the start-finish straight. They've got the left-hand hairpin to come. And I think some of these cameras are going to pick up some really, really exciting action. So this field, 33 cars coming out to play in the second of the 2 races at Sepang, the opening round of the 2024 Fanatec GT World Challenge Asia, powered by AWS. Waiting. Lauren Heinrich on pole. On the grandstand side, the Mercedes of Daniel Morad. The lights go out and the field blasts off. And Jordan Love immediately in the 888 Mercedes tries to gain a position or 2. They're 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 4 by 4, even 5 by 5 across the circuit. But Lauren Heinrich got a really good start from pole position. He should sweep down the inside. Contact behind. And oh dear. Marcus Winklehock, yesterday he got an assault, and today he was on the receiving end, shoveled to the outside, and the best place to be was in front. That's precisely where Lauren Heinrich, the battle for second place. Ralph Aron door to door, a little bit of bashing with Daniel Morad. And Jordan Love started 7th up to 4th. Alessio Picariello is up to 6th from 11th. Riding on board with Alessio Picariello now, trying to go around the outside of the 88. Fabian Schiller driven Mercedes. He's going to have to work his corner. Schiller's not going to give it up. Turn 4, he said it was the hardest corner on the track, and he ended up being shoveled rather wide, but gets back onto the circuit. Nip and tuck. This is fabulous racing, but Lauren Heinrich will be loving it because the cars are getting smaller in his rearview mirror. He's got that little break. Daniel Morad from the outside, the front rows held on firm. Second place for him, 3rd place, good start there from Ralph Aron. He started 3rd, very nearly got into 2nd place. Now we're riding at the back of the field, and Full Gas Motorsport pushing on, and Mingwan Han looks like he's gaining a place or 2. Wow, there seems to be something on the opening lap. Carry one of our onboard cameras and you're guaranteed to gain a place or 2. And so just bear in mind that having started in 6th place, Marcus Winklehock was a driver who got squeezed on the outside of the circuit, and the tail nearly came round, and then eventually it did. Right, riding on board with Jordan Love. Chasing after Fabian Schiller. Ralph Ferron's just a little bit further up in front in the green and black Mercedes. Up in front of that, getting away out of turn 14 up the back straight is Daniel Morad, the number 30 Mercedes, but the number 4 Porsche, Lauren Heinrich, who started on pole position, has made the break. He's able to turn in without any thought of being assaulted into the turn 15 hairpin, and then the drivers will come round, see the start-finish straight, and accelerate all the way down. It's a long straight. If you can get a good exit, you can get a bit of a tow down here past the pits, and maybe, because the track is so wide into turn 1, be able to make an overtaking move. Not happening for the car in 6th place now, Alessio Picariello. The moves are coming a bit further, just outside the top 10. You can see the number 25 Porsche Sensor Okazaki car being troubled there by Ben Porter, the ATM class leader for AMAC Motorsport. There it is, car number 51, right in the thick of the action. And Markus Winklehock with a right rear puncture from the assault just has come into the pit lane, so their race is really very spiked indeed. So disappointing, having started 6th in the number 40 Audi. And in behind us, the field works its way around the order. Great to see the Nissan Nismo, still such a popular car. Team Gojigin, such success over the years. A couple of the Lamborghinis were in short order last year. Now we've got 3 running in the bright lime emerald green livery, run largely by Vincenzo Sospiri Racing. And number 6 is the car that was the star. It's the one behind 63. 63 is one of the Lamborghinis. Number 6 is the one that Biagnier started 12th yesterday, but was on on wet weather tyres and got into 2nd place at the end of the opening lap, and that built certainly enough of an advantage for Eduardo Liberati to bring it home in 2nd overall. Oh dear, just mentioned Ben Porter got a little bit wide over the curbing there, and that's the AM class leader. So 33 cars started. We've had the interruption in the pits at the moment for Markus Winklehock, hoping that can get back out onto the circuit. But here we are, just under 2 seconds, the gap at the end of the opening lap between Lauren Heinrich in the lead and Daniel Morad. Porsche against Mercedes. In fact, Mercedes fill 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th positions with Morad, Ralph Ferron, Fabian Schiller and Jordan Love. And then come a trio of Porsches, Picariello, Ericsson, Biagni and the best of the rest following on around. Turn 15, looking at the cars going through there, that's the middle order, but already as they were going through there, the race leader, Lauren Heinrich, crosses the start-finish line. His advantage over Daniel Morad, 2.7 seconds now, so it's going out. Ralph Ferron going well in 3rd place. Oh, looking for a move there. The Nissan jinking this way, jinking that, but for Kanemaru, it's been a good opening stint, and Kanemaru's up in 9th place overall, with all the classes having things to play for. Andre Couto in that bright orange and lime green Mercedes in the thick of battle, driver from Macau for the Macanese team, Elegant Racing team. Actually, the team is run for them by KRC, that are running the black and orange striped BMW. Just about to see it in the middle of your shot. There it is. Started today by Kiwi racer John O'Lester. It's tucked in behind Aussie Ben Porter. But out front, it's all about Lauren Heinrich. Neat, tidy. Wei Lu will be watching on, going, yep, go as long as you can, because when you can run in clear air, you're not interrupted by anyone, no one's compromising your cornering lines. In fact, he's come out just behind, coming along to catch Markus Winklehock, who has emerged from the pits. Markus is wise enough to observe all the flags, because he's not as fast. No reason why he shouldn't be as fast, actually, as our race leader, because he qualified fairly close to him in 6th on the grid. But anyhow, at this point in the race, Markus will know he's got no business interrupting the pace of the race leader. First 3 really starting to spread out. Daniel Morad 2.7 seconds down in 2nd place, the number 30 Mercedes, and 3rd place Ralph Ferron, another 1.4 seconds down in 3rd place overall. Car 87, this is the best place of yesterday's podium finishers, and it's going very well at the moment in the hands of Leo Yihong Lee, as you'd expect. That's a car that, because it finished 3rd yesterday, will have 5 seconds extra at its pit stop. Here it comes, it's green and white, it's being challenged by the number 500 Nissan with Yu Kanemaru at the wheel, and then tucked in behind, the best place of the Ferraris is the one just actually being troubled by the number 25 Porsche. But for now, jinking and weaving down the start-finish straight they go, and it's very important that Lua Kalua managed to keep the number 77 Ferrari where he wants it, not providing any chance for the inside line into the first turn. Tucked in behind Bastian Boos has been making up ground. He started in 19th. He's gained 7 positions. Watch out for the young Dane. He's the reigning Porsche Super Cup champion, and he has a lot to offer in that blue and yellow beet gold Porsche. And Porsche continues to come under pressure in the number 51 AMAC Motorsport Porsche. For so many years, he and his teammate Andrew McPherson ran a Lamborghini, but they've been a Porsche team for several years now, and certainly look very well settled. And in fact, going incredibly well, because he's up in 15th place overall. And just double checking, started in 26th. There I was complimenting on someone gaining 7 places in the form of Bastian Boos, but it really was a mega start. And when everybody was getting a little bit caught out in that sort out at turn 1 on the opening lap, Ben Porter must have grabbed places by the handful. So really, really interesting how people have worked their way up the order. At the front it stayed fairly regular, but those behind certainly, I think because the field became so bunched, really gained position. Still running on board now with Full Gas Motorsport, car number 44. That's down in 30th position. And the Korean team have got Han Ming Wang at the wheel at the moment. There was a story when we came to the circuit this morning that one of the drivers had been tripped over in the Full Gas Motorsport garage, or had come across some injury, but certainly the car's going well, and haven't had any clarification as yet whether the second driver is not going to be competing. Because we did have one driver, Setiwan Santoso, yesterday, who did the entire race on his own, had to get out of the car during when there would be a driver change and get back in again, but there's always that option if one of your drivers is injured. Car number 13 flying along, that's Joel Eriksson, the Swedish racer, brother of Marcus Eriksson, who did Formula 1 and then moved on to IndyCar, became a race winner, running in 7th place overall. It's tucked onto the tail of Alessio Picariello. So what's happened? We had to sort out at the start of the race, and since then things have rather settled down into form. The fact of the matter is that both of those Porsches managed to get ahead of the car that started from 4th on the grid, which was Leo Yihong Lee. He'll be coming into the background of the shot in the green and white Porsche fairly soon. In fact, he's fallen just the background of the shot, still ahead of the Nissan, the number 500 Team Gojigan car. And the bottom of the top 10 is completed by the number 77 Ferrari. And just outside the top 10 there is the blue and gold AAS Porsche that is going to be shared, shared later in the race when the driver change takes place with Futakon Fubusak, the Thai racer who's had so much success in the GT World Challenge Asia across the years. But this year, today, this meeting and yesterday hasn't quite got it hooked up. Some of the teams seem to have right here got the right compromise for the track conditions. Others have been struggling a little bit, but certainly Origin Motorsport have got things very much under control. So their car leading the race, 2nd place Craft Bamboo Racing Mercedes. And the number 14 Porsche, that's the GTO Racing Team car. And that's the one that started at the tail of the field. And this was a brand new car built up, brand new chassis after contact, a big crash in testing earlier in the week. And so the fact they're racing is good. In fact, the driver Hideto Yasuoka is in double down the order, 23rd position. So making progress, 10 places gained. They've settled in very nicely indeed. GTO Racing Team number 14 in a little bit of a slip and a slide, and the 911 Porsche, Tanat Sathi and Tirikul, another Thai driver that started way down the order in 22nd position. So a lot of drivers are having to gain a little bit of ground. Now, front of the field, the gap is out to 3.8 seconds, unchallenged at the front. Lauren Heinrich is pulling away, but look behind as the field is coming down the start-finish straight. Here's Alessio Picariello going into turn 1. He was our guide and sliding a little bit wide in front of him, but Jordan Love hooks it up. But again, you've got the point mid-corner where you've got to slow right down. And then you know that turn 2 follows very soon thereafter. And Picariello made a slightly better exit from turn 2. Is he gaining very slightly on the Mercedes, on the Jordan Love Mercedes? Okay, that now approaching turn 4. It looks quite flat here, but when you walk around it, it has a rise into the corner and it flattens out, and that's why so many cars just run a little bit deep. And at that point, Alessio Picariello sort of did what he said you don't want to do, run a little too deep in the corner, which compromises the line into turn 5. And you can see actually, as the track went left, you can see the Mercedes in front of Jordan Love struggling to get the front end to go where he wanted. But these are the quick corners. All the drivers go out of turn 6 like this. Then turn 7 and 8, one almost immediately followed by the next. Of course, at this point, all the drivers thinking about how hard am I pushing my Pirelli rubbers, because certainly the track, the Pirelli tyres will really be getting very, very heated indeed around here. But it's how you control them as a professional or even amateur driver that really reaps dividends as you go through your stint. Now, if I may, I'll touch on the pit stops, and these come any time once we've got to 25 minutes into the race. We're nowhere near that yet. And 35 minutes. It's a 1 hour race, and then you can choose. If you're a pro driver, and most of the starting drivers in this field are the pro drivers, they will run deep into the stint. They will go as long as they can and then change over to their teammates. Right, Lauren Heinrich, here's the gap, 3.8 seconds. Visually seems to be the same. Daniel Morad, the car in third place is Marcus Winklehock Audi, keeping out of the way because that was the one that was knocked out of shape at the first corner. It's had a pit stop. It's not going to be challenging for points. So into turn 14 they go, just looking to see who's making the moves, certainly with quite a jumbled order. We're seeing drivers starting to make up their field to their natural place, but Sepang is a fantastic circuit. It's got great flow, but it also has great width. But certainly coming to this hairpin, all on his own actually, under no pressure at all, is the number 41 Audi with Akash Nandi, the driver from Malaysia, coming through. But it's a place where overtaking certainly can happen. And if you don't get it right there, you can always have another crack. When you come out of the hairpin, get a toe along the start-finish straight, and it's Tana Sathirical. Now, who's best through the three sectors of the circuit? The number you see next to each of those is number 4, Lauren Heinrich, our race leader, fastest in every single one of those sectors. And as proof of that, his advantage last time round was 3.8 seconds over Daniel Morad in second place. Not now. 4.6 seconds. So Lauren Heinrich is absolutely doing the job that Origin Motorsport brought him in for, and Louvet will be waiting to take over. Quite happy to wait. Go on as long as you can, Lauren. Just keep building that lead. Fastest lap of the race, of course, is the driver who was fast in all 3 segments. Lauren Heinrich, his best is 2 minutes 4.5 seconds. He's half a second and more clear of the best of the rest. In fact, no, the best of the rest. 7/10 of a second slower than him. It's very, very impressive indeed. He was clear by half a second in qualifying, but qualifying is quick fire, but now he's really just starting to rub it in. Bright orange Porsche you're looking at there is one that you normally expect closer to the front of the field. Porsche Center Okazaki, such a strong last couple of seasons for them, but today here in Sepang, in the heat, the humidity, in what has been a very, very tidy race so far, the natural pace of Lauren Heinrich in the lead of this race is very, very strong indeed. Daniel Morad, he should have been on the podium, could have been a challenger yesterday, but of course that rear puncture he told us about, a slow puncture in yesterday's opening race, really cost him a chance. They missed out on the points, finishing 11th. Right, another lap going on the board for Lauren Heinrich. 5 seconds clear now over Daniel Morad. Good run from Estonian Ralph Aron, 3 seconds further back. It's starting to string out at the front of the field. The closer battling is what you're looking at now. Look at that number 63 Lamborghini. Settled down on the charge, being pushed, chased. And the 911 Porsche just seeing if it can make the moves. No, he can't. This is the battle for 13th and 14th positions overall. A bit of a lock up there. It's Mapelli in the Porsche, Bastien Boost, 2 top-level drivers fighting for position on the circuit, and tucked in behind is Adderley Fong. Yes, yesterday's race-winning car, but all along, Adderley knows, and his teammate Frankie Cheng Kung Fu, they know when they come in to serve their pit stop. There is a mandatory pit stop time of 90 seconds from pit in to pit out, and effectively gives you about just under a minute at standstill. They will have to have another 15 seconds at standstill as success penalties. So it really is an arduous job, and it does make it so difficult for any combination to win both races over the course of a Fanatec GT race in the Asian Series. It's a rule particular to Asia, but it really does shake up the field. But right now, Adderley Fong being kept very, very busy indeed. Bastien Boost, in fact, he's moved ahead of Bastien Boost, and then Ben Porter having a fantastic race on Bastien's tail. That brilliant start for the Aussie propelled him up the order, leading the AM class very comfortably indeed. A little further forward, just the tail of the top 10. Bian Yi in the number 87 Porsche. There it is, green and white, being pushed very, very hard indeed by Yu Kanemaru. In that Nismo Nissan, tucked in behind still. Pressing on. They're fighting for honours in the Silver Am class. Graphic on the top left of your screen and the bottom right tells you of the 4 classes, the Silver Am honours are fighting over 8th position in the race. Have a look up the inside, not enough of them inside for Kanemaru, so he backs out in the Nissan, but that always famously has an immense amount of grunt down the start-finish straight. This could be workable, but actually a really, really tidy exit of the corner for Bian Yi there. I'm sure the gap between them will come down a little bit. 0.3 of a second, that's almost enough to take a look down the inside, not quite being considered. And the Ferrari behind with the Rover sponsorship, Rover Oils from Germany, enjoying the action. That's Lure Kalur. Again, this circuit just provides a wonderful place to go and play in GT3 cars. Great, great racing, but the thing at the front, we don't have the racing because Lauren Heinrich is doing such a supreme job. Fastest lap of the race, 5.5 seconds clear. All that can really slow him now is traffic being found in the wrong places. That shouldn't happen really as yet. They have lapped Marcus Winklehock's car, but that had to limp back almost the entirety of a lap with a puncture, have the tyre changed and go back out onto the circuit. But everybody else still racing on. Still another 7 minutes or so until the pit window opens. And what you tend to do, because we have Pro-Am lineups, we have Silver Am lineups, is you put driver 2 that starts race 2, and driver 2 is invariably the sort of pro driver or the higher ranked driver, so you tend in the second race to have a longer first stint, and then the second driver gets in for a shorter second stint. That's how it tends to work out. So none of the cars, as you can see from the graphic, have attended the pits as yet, apart from Marcus Winklehock, because he's down at the very tail of the order and therefore not on that graphic. We started with 33 cars. That graphic goes to 25th position, which is Shigekatsu Wakisaka, the number 60 LM Corsa Ferrari. What's the change in the field? The change in the field really now is, I think, Alessio Picariello in 6th place is starting to catch the 888 Mercedes of Jordan Love. Certainly seems a little closer than he was a lap or two ago, and the blue Porsche of Joel Eriksson is keeping him company behind. 6.1 seconds now the margin, going out with every single lap. In fact, the closest margin in the top 6 is Picariello. 0.75 of a second down on Jordan Love, but Jordan deep into turn 1. Again, such a deceptive corner. It sort of seems it's very wide on entry, gives you a choice of lines, but at some point you've still got to pivot the car around through a 180-degree turn and not be too deep coming out of turn 2. I'd say again Jordan Love was really pushing on the exit of the corner, but pushing with some success. But I think Picariello's maybe gained a tenth of a second or so. But catching is one thing, passing quite another. So he's going to weigh up his options. And again, when you've got a very well-balanced crew, you go. Well, unfortunately, Marcus Winklehock's not on the graphic. He's back in the pits. Let's find out why he's retiring.
In the box from car number 40, Marcus Winklehock. So welcome to Asia, but unfortunately it didn't start as you were wishing, I guess. Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, not really the best start for the season. Friday car was on fire. Yesterday we crashed, today another DNF. So yeah, it's unfortunate for us, but I think we keep our heads up and we are looking forward for the next race. But yeah, today I got a hit on the start actually was quite good. I got a hit on the right rear, and yeah, there was some damage in the rear, and had some quite big noise in the race. It was still too long to go. It would have been 5 laps to go. I would have stayed out, but yeah, the race was too long to go, and so we decided to stop the car and to not make any more damage.
Thank you very much. Rest well.
Thank you, Marcus Winklehock. You know, brought to the team, brought out to Asia. He's raced here many times before because he's quick, but he also knows his Audi is probably better than any other driver. He's raced Audi R8 LMSs for eons, and it's that mechanical sympathy. The speed was there. He qualified 6th, but he's quite right. Far better than doing big damage. We've got the next round in 3 weeks' time in Thailand at Buriram, so we look forward to that and welcome him back there. Now, talk of the start. Let's show you a replay of what went on. Brilliant start from Lauren Heinrich in the purple Porsche. He moved across, and going with him was Daniel Morad, who started second on the grid. Now, who clattered the back of the red and gold? Well, it was the 87 Porsche that gave him a hit, so it was Liu Yihong Li, but there was nowhere for Marcus Winklehock to go, and then round it looped. The puncture was there. The field splintered around him, did a good job to miss him. At that point, he wouldn't have known he got a puncture, but with all his experience, Marcus would have thought, I probably have. And it'd be interesting, actually, to have a close-up at the front of car 87. Started fourth on the grid from Liu Yihong Li, but I suppose at that point there was contact, and then it just pivoted the Audi around. Not much could be done by Winklehock at that point, but driving serenely, leading by 6.475 seconds. Racing. Here's the second place car, Daniel Morad giving chase, but losing ground to Lauren Heinrich, but still comfortably holding off Ralph Aron, the Estonian, who's driving in the green and black Mercedes in the background. That's for Climax Racing, and in the background behind him is another Mercedes. It's Fabian Schiller, so it's a Porsche, then four Mercedes, Morad, Aaron, Schiller, and Jordan Love for 888 JMR. Doing as good a job as he can, because he knows he's got extra pressure. He's handing over to Prince Abu Bakr Ibrahim, who's got his own fan club up in the grandstand right opposite the final garage, the end of the pit lane, the exit of the pit lane. But Jordan's going to press on and see what he can do. He's certainly been kept very honest, because Alessio Picariello in 6th and Joel Eriksson in 7th are not doing a job of taking the pressure off him at all. In fact, another 10th was gained on the previous lap. It's just 0.6 of a second for Alessio Picariello. There he is. And tucked in behind Joel Eriksson in that blue Porsche. Cool, calm, collected, and going very well for Phantom Global Racing. Background of the shot, the green and white Porsche was Liu Yihong Li. You can just see it coming down here. That was the one that had contact with Marcus Winklehock at the start of the race. We just saw the replay to clarify what went on. Haven't noticed any damage on the front of that Origin Motorsport Porsche. And certainly the team must have a good setup, because the race leader in the other Origin Motorsport Porsche, Lauren Heinrich, leading as he pleases. He's going through turn 3 now, where only is Daniel Morad just going to tight turn 2. Right, on board again with Alessio Picariello. Still looking as he has been for many, many laps at the tail, the backside of the 888 JMR Mercedes. Turning left, turning right, that's through turn 1, through turn 2. Now we're into turn 3. The track arcs wonderfully away to the right-hand side. Then you can then open it up a little bit more along this slightly kinked straight up towards turn 4, where the track suddenly flattens out. Deep into the corner, but not too deep, and again a little bit of a gain. You can see the slight handling differences between the way the Mercedes turns in and the Porsche more of a pivot sort of car, but through the wonderful sweepers of turns 5 and 6. Great flow. Now, what's going on here? Ben Porter in the 51 Porsche, very, very deep into the corner. Not enough corner to be negotiated there, and all the work he did in the early laps of the race. The AM class leader, well, looks like he's almost voted to go into the pits, but pit window not open for another 30 seconds or so. So on he goes. All the work Ben Porter did. He came around previous lap. He lost about 6-7 positions there. Had really been running very, very well indeed. So unfortunate for him, but a really impressive run. Picariello continues to put the pressure on the tail of Jordan Love. Jordan, so much racing in Europe, and before coming back down to Australia and sort of doing a bit of racing on his home ground, which seemed a little weird for him, but he's in for the season, and certainly putting in a very impressive start to the campaign. Schiller sort of on his own in the white, blue and red Mercedes, then the little gap, then the trio of cars, the gaggle, fighting over 5th, 6th and 7th. It's Love, Picario. Oh, dearie me. Let's have a little look at the damage there. And this is car 14. This is unfortunate. This is the brand new chassis. It's clearly slightly come unstuck, and that was GTO Racing Team for Hideto Yasuoka. Don't know how that little bit of underbody work has come off, and come off it has. So at least it's detached itself. Now suddenly we've got this enormous back. Bastian Boos has got plenty of company. Holding them off, but actually losing ground on the exit of the corner. Maybe the handling's not quite there for Bastian. Started way down the order for AAS, Phantom Global Racing, and he's a driver who is a driver absolutely entirely on top of his game. So clearly, if ever it's not going well, you sort of feel it's possibly not Bastian. Maybe the setup wasn't just right. Now the first pit visitors coming in. Car number 41, the Audi Hideto Yasuoka is diving into the pit. Sorry, that's 14, I beg your pardon, can't read. it's Akash Nandi, one of the two Malaysian drivers. But let's look at this action on the track. We'll give you, well, how about a Porsche, a BMW, 2 Lamborghinis, who else is it? A Mercedes, and the background of the shot, a Ferrari. Plenty of variety of the manufacturers, and just trying to find track space, not always easy. This is more like the start of race. In fact, you very seldom on lap 1 get 6 cars as close as they are at this point on the circuit. Going through the sweepers, turn 5, turn 6. Ferrari trying to hang on in the background of that shot. Oh, what excellent fun. Bastian Buß still trying to hold them off, but Eduardo Liberati, number 6. Bear in mind, he finished 2nd yesterday, but that car is going to have an extra 10 seconds at its pit stop as success penalty. So all the work that Liberati has done is working his way up the order. Bastian Buß trying to hold him off. All the work Liberati's doing is going to be rather lost when he has to make the pit stop. Jalen Robotham, young Australian, in the outside there in the black and white Mercedes. Really launching himself on the global stage and finding out which of the drivers have sharp elbows. You'd suggest, looking at this group, most of them do. Great racing, and again, always full of praise for the Sepang International Circuit. It just provides the stage for them to go produce their art. And here it is, turn 14, all about slipstreaming up the second longest straight on the circuit. Try and make a move, coming up into the hairpin. Who's going to be having a go? Come on, Jalen Robotham. He didn't come up from Australia not to have a crack. Bastian Buß leaves the door slightly ajar, but not enough. Robotham wasn't going to be tempted up the inside. And at that point, Bastian Buß said, enough is enough, and it's time to make the pit stops. Gaggle of other cars coming in, but of the front runners there, or the top 10, all staying out. And as I said, you largely have the faster driver. It's the number 2 driver on the official listing is the one that's normally a higher ranked driver. Will be doing the first stint, therefore they have the longer first stint. They have to come in within the next 7 minutes, get into the pits before then, but I'm sure these teams all will be on top of their craft. Often can get very busy with 33 cars. You hope the team in the next garage in the pit lane is not coming in at the same time. You want that extra space. Right, race leader Loren Heinrich, 7.3 seconds clear from Daniel Morad, continuing on his way. I reckon he'll do another 3 laps, possibly 4 laps before he comes in. No, let's call it 3. Complete this one. Okay, drivers using all the circuit and a little bit more. They do have to be watched for that. And car 296, for example, the Ferrari from Absolute Course, started by Finn Gersitz. That's been warned for excess usage of track at turn 8. They get a number of warnings before it starts turning into punishment. Pit window remains open. Almost halfway through the pit window. It's open for 10 minutes. It's already been open for 4 of those. But Loren Heinrich will continue trying to just eke out a bit more of an advantage. The battle for 6th place continues to rage. Still Jordan Love with Alessio Picariello. Now it's passed around. Picariello's lost ground. Yeah, Picariello's gained ground. He's gone past Jordan Love. He hunted him down for a very long time indeed. Lights flashing from that yellow-red Porsche. And look, having got past the 888 Mercedes, he's absolutely rocketing away. Now, that's the point I think Jordan Love is thinking about coming in the pits. No, he's not. It does seem the performance is just really slightly going away, just starting to think his tyre's gone off. The Australian's being made to fight, being pushed very hard indeed. Number 13 Porsche being shown the outside line only down to turn 1 in the space of no time at all, as they get close enough to sort of look at out of their side windows and see the whites of each other's eyes. But Jordan does a good job there for AAA. He's holding the inside line into turn 1, but does that mean he has the outside line for turn 2? Yes, it does. Can the move be completed? Diving down the inside, but then much slower on the exit. Joel Eriksson goes through. Great move, but Jordan Love isn't lifting out. He's got a lot of pride at stake here. He's lost 1 position to Picariello, and look how Picariello has pulled clear ever since. In the space of no time at all, he's dropped it out. So, and Jordan Love's lost 2 positions. Tyre performance seems to have gone away. Now they've caught up with drivers coming onto the circuit who've just taken over the cars after the pit stops, but great battling out there. Right, cool, calm down. That's the point. Maybe Jordan Love will think, yeah, end of this lap, I'll come in. End of this lap, I will come in. Right, Loren Heinrich, by the way, leading the race. You know that. 8.2 seconds clear. So with every lap, he continues to lose, to eke out an advantage that his teammate will just be going, thank you, keep on building that. Jordan Love showing with Lou Wei. Lou will be waiting in the pits, all ready to go. half of the 33 car field have made their pit stops. Just to reiterate, Marcus Winklehock's car will not be going out again. That's had 2 pit stops, one to have a tyre replacement, the other to retire the number 40 Audi from Audi's Sport Asia team, Absolute, with damage, all inflicted the first corner. The 563 Lamborghini, one of 3 being run by Vincenzo Sospiri Racing Team. That's actually entered by ANR, Japanese team. Good to have the Lamborghinis back. Lauren Heinrich pressing on. If he does a 2-minute lap, 2 minutes 4.5 is the best so far. That will take him right towards the closing of the pit window. So anybody going past the pits at the moment will be coming in, one would suggest, at the end of this lap, not wanting to risk continuing past the point of the pit window being closed. Fabian Schiller just in front of the LM Corsa Ferrari, but that has made a pit stop then. Alessio Picariello. Joel Ericsson's bailed out with a lap to go. He probably could have gone a lap further, but the team probably assessed where the traffic was lying. Had that fierce battle with Jordan Love, and he is the first of the top 10 to make a pit stop. Yellow and blue helmet, therefore the Swedish driver climbs out, and the driver climbing on board is Jingsu Sun, who's had some great runs over the years in the Blancpain and subsequently the Fanatec GT races here in Asia. 41 was the first car to make a pit stop, the yellow, grey, white and black Audi. That's Audi Sport Asia Team Absolute, and that means James Yu has taken it over. Bear in mind, he was getting quicker and quicker last year. The car's third in class, but this is a driver who won one of the 2 races here at the end of last year, so James really knows his way around this circuit. He certainly was getting better and better through 2023, so let's see what he can do. But that car was outside the top 10 early in the race, but he's got as much time as he possibly wants in this car. Oh, big moment from Lauren Heinrich. This surely was the in-lap, and a big twitch there, and his lead was out to just a whisker under 9 seconds, and he'll have had a heart-in-mouth moment at that point. So it was going down the slope at turn 12, and it just ran wider and wider and wider through turn 13, got it back together. Turn 14, and we'll come up now. What's left on the clock? Yeah, not enough to do another. So he's coming into the pits with about 1 minute 20 seconds to go, and a story to tell with his own lurid moment for the cameras, but he brings it in, hopefully down as he hits the wide line. There we are, the speed limit line into the pit lane, and Lu Wei will be waiting to take over from him. But that was a phenomenal stint, not just getting pole so comprehensively by half a second, but to build it with every lap. All the fighting was behind him. So welcome to Fanatec GT Asia to Lauren Heinrich. He's really put down a marker, and the others are going to have to just observe. For Origin Motorsport, they've clearly got a fantastic setup for their car here, and it's working very well. In behind, you can see Ralph Aron, car number 22, the Mercedes at the pit stop, and the driver from second place, Daniel Morad, climbing out of car number 30. Now, at this point, I'll just remind you that the top 3 cars yesterday all have to have extra time in the pits, and that means they're all really hampered. That's now, of those that's made a pit stop, car 13 is the best place, having come back out of the pits, and there it is, Jingsu Sun. And another one that was just at the tail end of the top 10, remember, was Hirabon in the Nissan Nismo. That will be next in line, but it's car 13, effective leader. But of course the cars in the pits at the moment are going to be coming out very soon indeed. They should emerge in front. Again, fabulous shot showing the there's the Nissan in effective second place from Team Gojigan, but by the time the field they come, oh dear, we've had car number 3 has had a little bit of a moment. That's made its pit stop, and unfortunately it's the Elegant Racing Team, and Alex Lickaloo has got it wrong. Where exactly did he go off? So out of the pits car comes number 4, Origin Motorsport. Wei Lu is the driver, taken over from Lauren Heinrich. Everybody else now all in order. Number 13 Porsche would be the race leader, but now the number 4 Porsche has come out. That's into the lead of the race. Oh, Prince Abu Bakr Ibrahim comes right out with number 13. The 13 Porsche had pitted a lap before, but is very tight. Riding with Folgas Motorsport, he's been overtaken up the inside. This is number 13, and we've got full course yellow. Everyone is slowing down because of the number 3 Elegant Racing Team Mercedes off at the side of the track. Alex Licalou had clearly made a little bit of a moment. That orange Mercedes off in the barriers, and there it is with front end impact. You can see the telltale marks of the tyres of the way into the corner. So really unfortunate for the new team from Macau. Now the number 4 Porsche was the driver that Lauren Heinrich, a brilliant run from pole position, built an advantage of 9 seconds before it went for a late pit stop, but that emerged back into the lead of the race, and of course that wasn't hit with any success penalties from yesterday. So all seems cool and calm. The driver's going around at 80 kilometers an hour. Car number 88, that was placed 4th before the pit stops. So Jeffrey Lee's taking that one over from Fabian Schiller. Alessio Picariello has handed over to Anthony Liu. Right, we're riding again with Full Gas Motorsport. You can see the waved yellow flags at the side of the track, the message board saying FCY, that's full course yellow. The pit window, by the way, closed several minutes ago. Now, let's have a look at average speed. The race vision powered by AWS logo. And the number 4 Porsche, the car that's set the pace, had the advantage, just handed over to Wei Lu, 157 kph at the average speed. Well, there we are, you lead. And the number 30 Mercedes, started by Daniel Morad, second fastest, of course, now in the hands of Tao Chi. So here it is, the number 4 Porsche had a remarkable race up to the pit stops, came out in the lead of the race again. And it's Wei Lu. Where are the rivals? It looks as though the car in second place in that line is car number 30, started by Daniel Morad from second on the grid. It's now in the hands of Tao Chi in the background. They've got their hazard lamps on as per instruction as they go up from turn 14 on the back straight. And you can see the margin they've gained. Really next in line should be the number 22. There it is. It seems that was much closer to the second place Mercedes, but that's fallen back a little bit as it was handed over from Ralph Aron to Wang Songwei. So, well, the driver who was a superstar at the start of the race, we've caught up with him down in the pits, and it's Lauren Heinrich, and Amy got him hot out of getting out of the car.
Lauren, great job. The gap is 9 seconds now. How was the cruise?
It's amazing. I had a really good start. Obviously, it's super hot, as you can see. Even we only drove 35 minutes. I'm used to 2 hours in the car, but this was really tough because of the humidity. But the car is amazing. Thank you to Origin Motorsport. I'm sure my colleague Wei Lu will do a great job now. He has 9 seconds lead, currently under full course yellow, so things are looking really good.
Okay, so it's going to be about the restart after the yellow. What do you think? He's going to do a great job?
I'm sure. I mean, all weekend long he's done a great job. We are now restarting, as we can hear. So I'm really anxious now. I want to get my first win in Asia, and it's all about Lu now.
I'll put you back in front of the TV. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Amy. Impressive, cool, calm, actually slightly warmer than normal. Lauren Heinrich, brilliant job. And the advantage was actually now, after the pit stop, 13 seconds. So clearly, as soon as Wei Lu came onto the track, he really started going from the off, and then the full course yellow locked the field into position. Everybody had to drive at a maximum of 80 kilometers an hour, so no one gains while that Elegant Racing Team Mercedes was cleared up. And clearly, with the sound of the racing engines back at full speed, suddenly we're back racing, and we've got 20 minutes precisely remaining in this second 1 hour race here at Sepang. Hazard lamps still going, but those can be flicked off any moment on the number 30 Porsche Mercedes in second place. And that's Tao Chi, comfortable because that car was being harried to an extent, not really pushed around the track, but certainly there was the presence of the car in third, and it's still in third now, but has gone back a little bit further. In fact, it's 19 seconds further back, that number 22 Mercedes from Climax Racing. And Wang Zhongwei will be doing his best to keep it in third position, but I think we're going to have to see who's going to be coming up behind him. And one of them will be the next car in line. Just coming to shot now will be Jeffrey Lee, but the one I'm looking for most is the yellow and red Porsche behind, because Anthony Liu, last year's champion out here in Asia, is in his draft, in his drag, in 5th place overall. And this duo, they can either fight for position, or they can help each other along. Oh, a little bit of a twitch, a little bit of a look. Anthony Liu's not going to wait for any invitation. He's the Chinese driver going to try and go up the inside, but Jeffrey Lee not offering in that option at the moment. Out turn 14 they go, but a compromised entry to the corner has somewhat slowed Anthony Liu. He's going to have to do it very well again. Now, of course, the order up and down the field. Anybody who came in during full course yellow was in the pits would have gained an advantage, but I think it came out pretty much as the last of the cars were in the pit lane, so it'd only be a handful. But I think in terms of natural pace, look for Anthony Liu in that yellow and red Porsche to make up ground. It started surprisingly far back, car number 1 for Absolute Racing in 11th place. Alessio Picariello picked up 5 places, I think, on the opening lap, and then maybe one more before that. But the field now, where are the cars that are out of position? One of the first to pit was car number 41, just out of the bottom of your shot there. And that was handed over from Akash and Andy to James Yu, but James has got a mountain to climb. He's down in 12th place. He's got the pace to gather points, but certainly he's going to have to work very, very hard for them. Prince Abubakar Ibrahim settling in treble 8, still ahead of the number 13 Porsche. Jingsu Sun driving that, and then car number 77, one of an increasing number of Ferraris. It's now Liang Jiatong at the wheel of that in 10th place. Sorry, in 8th place. Anthony Liu's getting very, very keen indeed to depose Jeffrey Lee. Who else is making the moves behind? Well, just change of position. The Ferraris gained the position, so not long after we talked about Lua Kailua handing over to Liang Jiatong, and it changed around. Right, the position changed. Well, it was coming. Anthony Liu, not a man who wants to offer patience to others, has said, well, okay, thanks, Jeffrey. You've led me around for a lap and a half. I'm going to make the move. It was coming. Now, let's see. So that's the move that will put Anthony Liu up into 4th place. A podium beckons, but he's got to gain, well, how far behind? He's find about 3 seconds, but now Prince Abubakar Ibrahim, we're riding with him. Jeffrey Lee has just been passed and carrying so much momentum. He can only go to the outside, but can Prince Abubakar get the Mercedes back on the track? He can. That was a big challenge. Now he's got to compose himself and go up the back straight and try and get a bit of a tow, but that was, well, you're not racing if you're not trying, and that was a big moment there from Prince Abubakar Ibrahim. He's on home ground. He's got his home crowd here. Jeffrey Lee, which I think he senses that he's quicker than Jeffrey Lee. He's just got to find the moment. But Jeffrey isn't exactly going to leave the door open and say, come on through. The Taiwanese driver continues on his way. Where's the next move going to come from Triple A? It's going to come in the next handful of corners. Again, just that hard acceleration. Great engine note on the Mercedes then. Hauling it down into turn 1. Turn 2 follows almost immediately. Another slightly wide line from Jeffrey Lee, but he was confident he was just far enough ahead that he wasn't leaving the door open, so was actually the quicker line. But right now it's the job of Prince Abubakar Ibrahim to say, sort of no mercy. I'm not going to take the pressure off you. I'm going to pressure you, Jeffrey Lee, until you crack. While this battle's going on, I'm just quickly looking to see where yesterday's winners were. Down in 15th place, that success penalty, 15 seconds extra in the pit stop really has hurt Adley Fong and Frankie Chen Kong Fu. But right now, as Anthony Liu pulls clear in 4th place, Jeffrey Lee holds on to 5th, but is now starting to become quite a queue of traffic, because not only are we riding on board with Prince Abubakar Ibrahim, but going really well for Hart is the 77 Ferrari, now in the hands of Liang Jiatong. 7th place for them, so Harmony Racing going great guns. Oh, can the move be completed? Just looking up the inside, no, Jeffrey Lee is, oh, and as the move was going on, as Prince Abubakar Ibrahim was looking one way, cheeky Ferrari driver Liang Jiatong said, well, you've gone a little bit wide, I'm diving up the inside, but Jeffrey Lee is hanging on by his fingertips, and I think if he goes even slightly wide, he's not going to be passed by 1, but 2, even 3 cars, because tucked in behind in the blue Porsche is Jingsu Sun. He's very, very quick indeed. Oh, this is great racing. GT3 Racing just provides these wonderful moments. And tucked in behind him is a 63 Lamborghini. That's a car that really seemed to gain with the timing of the full course yellow. That's Bizhuang Zhu. Oh, and as we look, every time Prince Abubakar is shaping and trying to pass, the pressure comes from behind and he loses a position. So he's got to do it all over again. He will get past that number 88 Mercedes, but Jingsu Sun just went for a gap just as the number 77 Ferrari had done before him. And how deep do you go into turn one? Where do you want to place your car? So the Prince pushing, probing, and now he's got lots of pressure because Zhu Bizhuang is right on his tail as well. Jeffrey Lee still working on the position he was handed by Fabian Schiller, but he's come under so much pressure. But the Ferrari that passed him has just rocketed away in the distance. So there it is, the white and blue Mercedes with the red tail end being pushed all the time by a sort of revolving, rotating cast of great drivers. But Jeffrey Lee is nothing if not dogged, and he's just not offering many hints to them at all. He's basically saying, if you're going to go past me, you're going the long way round. Meanwhile, at the front of the race, the number 4 Porsche started up front and just continues comfortably circulating. Wei Lu is 9 seconds clear, so he's got 13 minutes to defend. But this battle for 5th place is 6th place now. Of course, the Ferrari's gone past. Still Jeffrey Lee holding up a train of cars. The cars change their positions. The driver possibly making the moves, Jingsu Sun in the number 13 Porsche. Has he spotted over the last lap or so where he thinks the attack can come? But I tell you what we've seen is when anybody attacks Jeffrey Lee, it's often the driver that's second in the pack of marauding cars on its heels that gains the advantage. Now a better exit onto the back straight from the 888 Mercedes. Prince Abubakar Ibrahim pushing on. Has he got right alongside it? Oh, he's almost close enough. He's in the draft, but the Lamborghini's having a look as well. Or no inside line down into turn 15. Except now, the tighter in but slower outline is being taken by the Lamborghini. It just about has worked. So Prince Abubakar Ibrahim is going to have to sit on his tail now, see if he can use the drag down the straight, past the pits. The pits are on the right-hand side, his fans in the grandstand on the left. And the Prince of Johor taking a look. Well, he's certainly having a real battle. But once any of this trio of cars can get past Jeffrey Lee, they will pull clear. The Ferrari that passed him a lap and a half ago has made good progress. It's about 2 seconds clear. Jeffrey Lee holds the middle line, and now suddenly Jingsu Sun is being challenged. Zhu Bizhuang pushing. Maybe there's a chance for Prince Abubakar Ibrahim, but they're coming up to turn 4. Not really the place to try. You could try, but you're not likely to succeed. Tucked in behind, completing the top 10 behind this battle, is the number 66 Climax Racing Mercedes. Jaden Rowbottom started it, and Min Heng is the driver at the wheel for the second half of this race, and he's closing off the back of that pack. So that was a bit better. A little bit of a mistake from Jingsu Sun, and bam, Prince Abubakar Ibrahim goes through, and then as he picked up a puncture, he suddenly lost position. Just trying to see if that rear left was looking a little bit down, but no, something I think slightly untoward. Why he suddenly lost not 1 but 2 positions, because that blue Porsche was the one that was really looking very good indeed. It might be a slow puncture, but a car that has gone around, put its signature down there, is one of the 2 Porsche Center Okazaki cars, car number 25. That was running in the Silver Am class, and Tsubasa Kondo handed it to Kiyoshi Uchiyama, and Kiyoshi has had a little bit of a rotation. Well, you sometimes get helped on your way. That's the answer as to why Uchiyama went round, and I'm afraid that was that battle for sort of 6th place, and he was caught just in front of it. They were coming up to lap him, and he was given a clatter. Oh, Jeffrey Lee has had a moment as well, so Jeffrey Lee is suddenly out of the way. So, wow, you have this great racing for ages, and then 2 spins in the space of half a lap, but the Lamborghini comes through, so everybody behind Jeffrey Lee step up a position. Jeffrey was holding on to 6th place, but suddenly that has changed. And as the cars come across the start-finish line in the next 20 seconds, we'll just confirm the order. But it's Wei Lu leading by 10 seconds now, pulling ever further clear. 22 Climax Racing Mercedes in 3rd place. Anthony Liu up into 4th, 3.5 seconds down. So he started to catch, but maybe not at a great pace. The number 911 Porsche 911 GT3R is the one that started way down the field in the hands of Tanat Satyan Sirakul. That's been handed over to Eshan Piris, driver from Sri Lanka, who's doing a very good job, gradually working its way up the order. And yesterday's race-winning car is tucked in not too far behind. Gosh, certain points on the circuit, turn 2, you almost have to stop the car. Just looking at the number 296 Ferrari, now in the hands of Andre Canard. Car with the livery, if you look up closer, it seems like a cast of about 1,000 ducks. It looks like it's grey from a distance, it is, but the flanks are covered in ducks. You sort of feel royal purple could be the colour to have here today, though, because we've got under 10 minutes on the clock. In fact, under 9 minutes left to the end of this 1 hour race, and Wei Lu leading super comfortably. He's in that metallic purple car. Wait, in the background we should see the number 30 Mercedes. There it is in the background of the shot. That's the margin between first and second. It was 10.2 seconds last time around from Wei Lu to Tao Chi, and it looks to have remained much the same. Leader in the silver class, Harmony Racing, made a bit of a dip in the water last year, but the Chinese team with their Ferrari going very well in the race. Started by Lua Kalua, and Liang Jiatong did the passing. He was the one that caught that group with Prince Abu Bakr Ibrahim and Jeffrey Lee. Took a look at it, overtook everyone. Another car that came right through is the 63 Lamborghini with Zhu Bizhuang. Here comes Prince Abu Bakr Ibrahim. He's got car number 66. That's Min Heng right on his tail, but these are all in the top 10, so we'll be heading for overall points, but of course they will all have, with the 4 classes showing this 33 car field, plenty of chances for podiums for a lot of these runners. So Prince Abu Bakr Ibrahim in the treble 8 Mercedes in 7th place, and Heng Min, new to the championship, in 8th place, tucked in behind him. The AM leader had its moment off the track. Brilliant start by Ben Porter, got up with the top guns, then the little moment where he just ran a bit wide, threw about 7 positions away, and Andrew McPherson took over from him, leading the class, leading the AM class, and that's down in 23rd position overall. The next car in the class is Hiroshi Hamaguchi, 3 positions further back, so you think that Andrew McPherson and Ben Porter, they do like a podium, could be doing it looking down from the top step when we get to the podium ceremony, which is coming up very soon indeed. Under 7 minutes remain in this 1 hour race. Car 13, Jingsu Sun. This is the one I thought might have had a slight puncture. Well, it started this lap in 9th position. It's not going to finish in 9th position because I'm afraid Jingsu Sun has undone all the work that Joel Eriksson did to move it up the order in the early stages of the race. With that rotation there, it started down in 15th place, reached I think as high as 6th. Was certainly right in the pack in the first part of the race. 6 minutes remain. Surely it's going to be a first win of the season for Origin Motorsport. They've looked very good all weekend here. Lauren Heinrich started on pole, and he's handed over a very tidy looking car to Wei Lu. And building on that all along. Tao Chi is giving chase. He's 12 seconds down, but comfortable. Ooh, just looking in the background of the shot, the penultimate car, the blue Porsche in the background, had a very tail-happy moment coming out of turn 14. I think a lot of the drivers are finding the heat has made their tyres work a little harder than they wanted to. This is just the tail end of the top 10. Car 87, here it is, coming in 8th position. 41 on the chart. James Yu, remember he was one of the winners here last year. He's very handy indeed. And Frankie Chen Kung Fu, yet one of yesterday's winners. Bear in mind, this had 15 seconds extra at its pit stop. That's how competitive it is, but it started way down the order in 16th. Here it is now in 10th, including that 10-second pit stop. So that shows they've got proper pace across that pairing of Fong and Chen Kung Fu. Has he got enough time to gain a couple more positions? Certainly he'll fancy making a move here or there. But James Yu in that yellow and grey Audi, he's not going to want him coming through, but may have no choice in the matter. So the clock is counting down. It's Pro-Am cars filling the top 4 positions. Best place of the other class cars is car 77, which is running in this all silver. This is according to driver ranking. If you've got 2 silver ranked drivers, you're a silver. But if you've got an AM driver, that's one with the bronze or one with the driver over 50, they'll be your AM part of a pairing. But you can be paired with a silver or a pro, which is a gold or even platinum ranked driver. So we've got those classes, and obviously Pro-Am, Silver-Am, Am, and all silver. But right now it's Pro-Am crews in the top 4 positions. Yang Jietong, there he is, leading the silver class, all silver lineup. Lights are blazing on the rover. Oils sponsored Ferrari, and he's got no particular pressure. Next car in line is Prince Abu Bakr over him. There he is in treble 8, certainly being pushed hard, but not challenged as yet by Min Heng. And there it is, the car, number 66, looking comfortable in its class. That's the Silver-Am class leader, except he's coming into the pits. Why did I say that? Oh, black flag for car number 66. I haven't spotted on the screen what his crime has been, but that is report for trouble, so everybody else steps up position. That means that the car that will move into the top 10 will be, and as I say it, suddenly the car I was looking at to move up the charts has also had its own problems, so maybe that's gone into the pits as well. So we'll just reconfirm shortly the battle for 7th is right in front of us. We know they should be heading for points. That's 7th, 8th and 9th now, still looking at that battle. Suddenly for Prince Abu Bakr Ibrahim running in 6th place, the pressure is gone. The car, the number 66 Mercedes that was sitting right on his tail, is suddenly in the pit lane and lost ground. And there's been a car that was in that group as well, car 63. I think that must have been given some punishment for a little bit of contact. We saw Biwang Zhu cracking into the back of the number 25 Porsche Center Okazaki car. So that had worked its way into the top 10 quite comfortably, but that's gone into the pits for probably a drive-through or a stop-and-go penalty and rejoined the track. You know, one of the beauties of GT3 racing on a circuit like this, there are options for overtaking, and right there James Yu was just trying to see what he could do about getting past number 87 Mercedes, but Wan Bo was holding the inside line, and now Frankie Chen Kong Fu having a challenge. These two Audis, very well driven, the pair of them, but Frankie Chen, well, he's moved up to at least pick up 2 points in this race to add to yesterday's winning tally, but he fancies more. There is still time to go, but probably only this lap and one more. 1 minute 40 seconds remain on the clock. Yes, as they go out of turn 14, they'll be able to get up this back straight, go around the hairpin, and have time to start one further lap before the checkered flag comes out. And the checkered flag will be very, very comfortable indeed for the race leader, because Wei Lu is sitting on an advantage of 13.4 seconds. The pressure from Frankie Chen Kong Fu in the number 36 Audi, run by FAW, in fact he's run out of Phantom Global team, is becoming intense. Car 41, the Audi he's challenged, driven by James Yu, is run by Audi Sport Asia team Absolute. That's just a little bit of friction, a little bit of internal battling, if you will, from the Audi camps. But for now, that's great news for Bo Yuan, because the Porsche driver in car number 87 has just had the pressure come off him a little bit. This will be the last lap of the race. And he's hung on this long. Surely James Hughes not going to find a way past now, and Frankie Chen Kong Fu, if he's going to make a move, he's got to do it. Prince Abu Bakr Ibrahim just goes out of our shot through turn 4, so he's got about 2/3 of a lap to go until the checkered flag can be shown. In fact, he'll be hung out in 30 seconds, just trying to look where our race leader is around the course of the circuit. Car number 4 going down through turn 12, through turn 13. Yeah, he's not going to get the finish line before the checkered flag comes out, so this is his last lap, the last lap of this 1 hour race. So in fact, he's going to do it with great economy. The checkered flag comes out in 8 seconds time, by which point he should just about be catching the pack in front of him. Doesn't matter, he doesn't need to lap them. Turning into the hairpin, there we are, an hour is completed, and I'd say 20 seconds after the hour, no point doing that overtaking move. Wei Lu, victory will go to the car that started from pole position from Origin Motorsport. Brilliant opening stint from Lauren Heinrich, and exemplary run from Wei Lu. Victory in the bag. That's race 2 here at Sepang in the opening round. Yesterday was won by an Audi, today it's a Porsche, and that was a great result. There's Lauren Heinrich, fist bumping all round. Job done. And a real challenge. Second place had just been clinched there, the number 30 Mercedes, but look in the background, and there's been contact. The battle for second place, Anthony Liu in the Porsche got right onto the tail of the number 22 Mercedes. There was contact there, and Wang Zhongwei has been spun round. Anthony Liu has come in. I'd love to see a replay of that. I could sense something was about to happen. Then we changed shot, and then is the front end damage on the Porsche? Can't quite tell. The Ferrari has now come through into 4th place. That's number 77 crew. I'm just waiting to see if the black. Yes, it gets going again. The number 22 Mercedes comes through, but it's lots of positions. Prince Abu Bakr Ibrahim moves into 5th, and then the stricken Mercedes comes through in 6th place. And gosh, almost all change at the end. And that little battle between Bo Yuan, James Yu and Frankie Chen Kongfu did finish in the same order, but that kept us on our toes to the finish. But the race was really all about that number 4 Porsche, and in the end it came through with a margin of 14 seconds. That is huge. Now, this is the move coming up from Anthony Liu, looking into the final corner. The 22 Mercedes just trying to turn left. The contact comes round. At that point, the car's always going to spin. It started to become unweighted. Oh, a little clatter with the rear wing. Anthony Liu, last year's champion, goes around the outside. And you have to feel a little bit there for Wang Zhongwei, because what was going to be a fantastic run for him, his top finish, has gone away. Managed to get it to the end in 6th place overall. Drama, it goes all the way to the end. And so 4th place, just have to actually extol Harmony Racing with their Ferrari. Liu Kailu and Yang Jiatong, silver class winners in 4th overall. AM class victory, well, here it comes. Poof, across the line. Victory there. No, in fact, been passed in the last lap. Sorry, beg your pardon. Hiroshi Hamaguchi moved past Andrew McPherson. Don't know if there's been a moment there, because they were the other way around about a handful of laps ago, but no doubting our race winner. Origin Motorsports started from pole by Lauren Heinrich. While everybody got into position going into the first corner, he'd already made the break, built on it. And again, a very good run from the number 30 crew as well. They could have been winners yesterday, certainly could have been podium finishers, but a puncture cost them. But today, the combined merits of Daniel, Morad and Tao Chi, great run there for them for 2nd place. But it's all about the number 4 crew today. Just an exemplary performance. So 3 Pro-Am crews in the top 3 positions. Then we had the silver class Ferrari in 4th place. So that was a very good run from them. Silver AM class victory went to the crew in 7th place overall. Bo Yuan, car number 87. It was the Porsche that held everyone up for a while, quite rightly so as well. But our winner, in no doubt, from the moment the lights turned to green on the starting gantry, the number 4 Origin Motorsport Porsche. There it is. Lauren Heinrich in the white suit. It's already cooled down. And Wei Lu, happy indeed. And, you know, to have a win when no one was on your tail is a remarkable thing. But they've got the setup very well indeed. Daniel Morad started the number 30 Mercedes from the outside the front row for Craft Bamboo Racing. And the job was completed by Tao Chi. So good job for the pair of them. Thumbs up from Wei Lu. And in the background, for now, I say that because there had been a collision at the final corner. Anthony Liu, 3rd place with Alessio Picariello. We'll see if it stays that way, because certainly I think the officials will be looking into that one. Busy day at the track. Welcome to racing in Southeast Asia to Lauren Heinrich. I expect him to make his mark, and he's done it in an even greater way than I thought he'd managed to do. So that is very impressive indeed. Well, Amy is down with our winners, so let's hear the collected thoughts of Lauren Heinrich and the driver who brought it home, Wei Lu.
And another pole to win this weekend. Lauren, great job. It was so smooth for you too. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it may have looked easy, but I tell you, it was not. It was incredibly hot in the car. We were pushing like crazy. We worked the whole weekend really hard to extract everything from our car, and I think we managed to do that. The car was lovely. Thank you to Origin Motorsport and thank you to Wei. Did an amazing job, even extended the leads in the last stint, so I'm really happy with my first win in Asia.
You might need to get used to this heat.
Yeah, I need to, true.
Wei Lu, amazing. How does it feel to come back with a gap of 13 seconds?
I guess I was the easiest guy on the track because my team did a great job set up the car. My teammate just like a lightning bolt on the track. He built such a big gap for me, so it made my life easy. Yeah.
Really perfect weekend. Party hard.
I think great modesty there from Wei Lu, because he did exactly what he required to do, put in a string of very, very good laps. That is why the advantage went out. But the other teams, we look at Origin Motorsport going, right, next time out, which is Buriram, the Chang International Circuit in Thailand in 3 weeks' time. They've got to find an answer to that one and work out what they can do to get up the setup that really works very, very well indeed. But for the number 4 Porsche crew, what a run from them, and a victory in the end by 14.1 seconds. Good job over an hour of racing. Here we are with the race graphic. You can see their margin, 14.1 seconds over Tao Chi and Daniel Morad. So it was a Porsche from Mercedes and another Porsche, Anthony Liu and Alessio Picariello, in 3rd place overall. The silver class winner, the Ferrari from Harmony Racing, that just did one thing in that race. It just worked its way ever further forward. So great run from them. And Jordan Love and Prince Abu Bakr Ibrahim, 5th place in the end after that little sort out just in front of them. Lots of pressure, great racing. And then Climax Racing, the car that got spun round, unfortunate for them at the end, that contact with the number 1 Porsche up at the final corner of the race. And the car that came top in the Silveram class is the 87 Porsche from Origin Motorsport. Yeah, it's the same crew that run the race-winning car as well. Big success for them. The top Audi, James Yu and Akash Nandi, just ahead of Frankie Chen Kong Fu and his fellow winner from yesterday, Adley Bong. And then Jeffrey Lee had all that pressure, and Fabian Schiller complete the top 10, but plenty of racing up and down the order. Yesterday it was wet turning dry, which made things interesting. Today it was dry all around, and the Sepang circuit was the thing that provided all the racing action, with the drivers using all of its twists and curves to great effect. And looking all the way down to the AM winner, which right at the end was Hiroshi Hamaguchi, taking victory in the number 19 Audi, entered by the Spirit of FFF Racing, down in 23rd position overall. And we've been talking about last year's winners. We talked about James Yu, but the winner here last year in the other race was one of the winners today. So it was Wei Lu, victor at the end of the 2023 series. Now, as those graphics are being run through, of course, there was a moment at the final corner on the last lap when the number 1 Porsche, Anthony Liu, made a move that ended up in contact with the number 22 Mercedes from Climax Racing, Wang Zhongwei. We don't know yet if it's a penalty, but I'm hearing murmurs there may be. We'll look out to see for that one. But looking back to the start of the race, it was all about Lauren Heinrich and the purple Porsche on pole position. Daniel Morad, the white and pink Mercedes, just about resisted a challenge from the green and black Mercedes of Ralph Aron. Down to the first corner they went. He got very busy, looked to the black and gold Audi on the outside. A little bit of a contact from Leo Yihong Lee, and round it went. In fact, the poor Marcus Winkel had nowhere to go. As the car was spun around it, it clipped Fabian Schiller's Mercedes. Everyone else got through though, but the puncture led to a big delay for the number 40 Audi. Look how tight it was, 2 abreast through turn 3 with contact there for Jordan Love in the treble 8 Mercedes. Now right on board with him. It was busy out there. Fabian Schiller right across his bows, both trying to not lose too much ground, as certainly Lauren Heinrich started to escape at the front of the field. Ben Porter, the 51 Porsche, well, he did a fabulous job in the early stages of the race, and it all came undone for him at turn 15. It looked so he was going to the pits, but it wasn't time for a pit stop, so all the work undone. 7 places lost in the blink of an eye, but he got back on track, and eventually the crew would finish in 2nd place in the AM class. So it was the time for the pit stops, and most of the front-running drivers stayed out as long as they possibly could and came in just before the pit window was going to be slammed shut. Out came Lauren Heinrich, in went Lu Wei. And then it was a question about where they would slot back out onto the circuit. Very, very close indeed. Jingsu Sun just coming across the nose of Prince Abu Bakr Ibrahim. He pitted a lap earlier. Then Anthony Liu, the yellow and red Porsche, car number 1, last year's champion, moving ahead of Jeffrey Lee, which was not the easiest task in the world, because Jeffrey just had his car where he wanted, and the queue soon built up behind him. And now coming up to the very end of the race, looked as though the number 22 Mercedes had just got enough in hand, but unfortunately Anthony Liu, well, he wasn't a champion nothing. He was going to go for a gap if he thought there was one, clipped the tail of the Climax Mercedes, and the front as well, and went on past. And then right at the end of the race, it was just all about this man coming through. Wei Lu, in the end, victor by 14 seconds, takes the maximum haul of points, and a job well done. He won here last autumn, he wins here again in the spring. Silver class victory went to the Harmony Racing team, but there, handshakes for Lauren Heinrich, little fist bumps, and Wei-Lu threads his Porsche under the winner's arch, and we'll be heading for the podium. So it's been a hot morning. Good to see the parasols up down the pit lane as people go to throng beneath the podium. And we think we're going to show you that, okay, now official confirmation has come through. The order has been changed. Going to try and take third place on at the final corner, on the final lap. Anthony Liu in the yellow and red Porsche looking up the inside of the 22 Mercedes, and Wang Zhongwei turned into the corner, was clipped up rear. And then, in fact, as the Porsche went past again, the rear of both the cars had a little clatter, the rear wing being damaged, but round the outside into third place went Anthony Liu, last year's champion. But the drive-through penalty has been changed to a 33 penalty, second penalty, and that's put it outside the top 10, in fact, down to 12th place overall. So that's now official. That means the Harmony Ferrari crew, the silver class winners, have been promoted up to the podium in third position overall. So race stewards very, very quick to pass judgment on that one. So in fact, it's always better if something like that can be sorted before the podium ceremony starts, and certainly people down waiting to start clapping, waving their fans, keeping themselves cool down. It's a very hot day here at Sepang. Good to have the Lamborghinis back. Look at the trio of them down just very close to the podium, but just waiting for Amy to be master of ceremonies for the podium ceremony. And the silver class winners.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podium ceremony for race 2 of the Fanatec GT World Challenge Asia, powered by AWS at Sepang International Circuit. We will start the ceremony with the GT3 overall winners. We welcome with big applause. On third place, car number 77, Liang Jingtao, Luo Kailuo. On second place, car number 30, Chao Chi and Daniel Morad. And the winners on first place, car number 4, Lu Wei, Lauren Heinrich.
Job well done.
And now we gladly invite Mr. Robert Nigel, Rove Motor Oil General Manager, Asia Pacific, to award the trophies, please. Fantastic. Congratulations, gentlemen. So now let's get together for our photo. Okay, are we good with the photos? Gentlemen, let's move on to the celebration with some bubbles. And it's champagne time! Congratulations, celebrate well.
Well, After that podium ceremony, let's take a look at a supreme performance from the race-winning combination. Car number 4, Origin Motorsport, raced last year with success as R&B Racing and laying down a new marker this year with Lauren Heinrich, who took pole position, comfortably led as we look at these super slow-mos, and handed over to Wei Lu, who brought it home with a 14-second advantage to become the second winners of our 2024 season. It's been a really good start. Yesterday's first race, incredibly interesting because of cars starting on a wet track and then going to dry. What was the tyre choice? But it didn't matter what tyres we used today, they were slick. And who was slickest of all? It was Origin Motorsport. Victory for them here at Sepang in race 2.